Welcome back to Channel 5 News. When an explosion happened in a miscellaneous country and people died in a place you literally do not care about. We need you to keep watching so we can keep our CEOs happy. Wait, I'm just getting word that they're a CEO shot. We'll cover this all day, all night. Take the side of the business to improve ourselves as a corporate America once again. But wait, don't leave. We've got more. Wait. I'm not going to give you the same consume talk that is all so trendy today. I know we've all had enough of that, but I want to bring a little bit of hope. Even though we focus on the negativity, even though we stick to everything bad that's in our world, it's worth bringing light to what is good in it, and to not be a doomer. So I ask, what's next? Listen, I don't know. No one does, okay? But everyone needs your attention to tell you about their opinion about what will happen. We live in a world where drama is rewarded and negativity is all we hear. But it seems pretty clear that we're going to be okay. That is the bottom line. I mean, probably. Yes, climate crisis. I know. But still, it's not to the point where we're all dead right now, where the world will literally end tomorrow. And you will shoot me down. I know it's a big deal. I know. But please stop acting as though the world ends tomorrow. Because it doesn't. I've got a life left to live, and so do you. Name one industry, I challenge you. Name one industry that isn't in a crisis. One where everything works the way it is supposed to and nobody has major complaints about the system. A ridiculous demand, right? No such thing exists. Everything is a crisis, catastrophic, and it must have your attention right now, absolutely in every sense of the word. So obviously, the first thing we need to do is to tone that down. But since the only two things we control are our actions and our thoughts, we can only start with those. Chapter 2. If we were to start with our actions and our thoughts, then all we can do is start tuning the dooming out of our minds. Because it's impossible to break the motivations of a capitalistic society and change the world all in one go. So we have to start by playing the game and hurting the CEOs financially. The more they understand the message in their own terms, the more they understand what we want, and the more they'll give it to us. If the CEO of CBS or any major broadcasting company understands that people want to see something good, then they will show good things, because at the end of the day, they are companies and this is how they operate. But we need to send them that message, and it's going to take years, and it's going to take a lot of work, and it's going to take a lot of complaining and a lot of bureaucracy and a lot of red tape, and I know it's going to suck. But that's okay. That's the fight that we sign up for. That's the world that we want to see. That's what we care about. That's who we are as a human species. And that's who we are as consumers. We fight for what we want. Where was the news when China built the largest wind power plant in the world? Or when we saw that a higher proportion of their energy comes from renewables than ours does? And if you did know about that, I'm sure you only saw it in a way that hurt America, in a way that hurt whatever country you live in, something that's dooming, a negative perspective. But why can't just we all be together in a society that we love and try to work out our issues instead of litigating over and over and over? But you probably didn't know about either of those things, and it tells me that it's just the way the information gets through to people is what screws us over. The point here is that the crisis doomer mentality is a self-fulfilling prophecy. It is all around us, and it is so much easier to conform than to object. The more we partake in it, the truer it becomes, and the more time you spend complaining is less time you actually spend doing something. And this is the same for all. And it is so easy to fall into the circle. It is so easy to consume, to be polarized, to yell at your TV. But that is the point at the end of the day. And you are here because you want to do the right thing. You were taught you could make a difference, and this is it. You can get ahead of the vast majority of people with a simple mindset. And when your thoughts contaminate your subconscious, it gets easier and easier to convince yourself that it is okay to step out of the herd and to start doing while stopping complaining. Of course, it must be mentioned that when I say your thoughts, I mean your conscious thoughts, and we have many levels of reasoning that psychology does not yet understand. What we have so far is the dual processing theory, which is that you have one conscious track and one subconscious track. But the main idea is that you can only control a few levels of your thoughts, but they eventually contaminate the rest with their material, and it is your choice what you put in it. Although it may feel as though you do not make a difference with each and every thought, and that taking a cheat thought won't hurt, it is much easier to fall back than to rise forward. By chipping away at the poor lines of reasoning that make up herd mentality, you get yourself ahead. Also, this isn't made to make you feel as though you are better than anyone else. You aren't. You aren't better than anyone else, but you're doing the right thing in this aspect and others may not be. They will be doing the right thing in other aspects, or they may be using that time and effort to do something else that is productive in their lives, but this is not a valid point for which you can satiate your ego. I mean, imagine it's now 2045. You took 2025 as your starting year of discipline. And now you're looking at the fruits of your labor. You have a reunion with your friends and you see where they are in life. And you're thinking, wow, I live a life that I'm so much happier living now than I used to. I live a life where I'm proud to be myself. I'm happier that I'm myself rather than being one of my old friends. Even though I still enjoy their company, I'd still rather be myself. And this is because I took 2025 as my starting year of discipline, and these are the fruits of my labor. Between 75 and 85% of us will fit in when presented with an opportunity to do so. Solomon Asch proved this in his 1951 study, where he asked people about lines that had similar length, and then had them convinced by people who were literally lying about which line they were choosing. That's crazy. 75% of people, that's 3/4 of people. I had an economics teacher who said that 80% of people were dumb. We're all conforming. Of course, traces of this folding in sight of peers is abundant and links back to evolution. Sticking together as a herd makes more correct decisions. But in today's world where most will stay behind while a few will get ahead, failing to stand by your own goals is a type of bad conformity. In fact, don't take my word for it. I'm going to give you a second to think about it. What are your goals? How do you plan to get there? Is everyone around you pursuing the same goals as you? And therefore, should you conform? This isn't meant to be some sort of red-pilled awakening, I promise you, but it is worth acknowledging the differences between the people around you and yourself. If you want to get ahead, and you likely do because you're watching this video or you're listening to this, you have what it takes. You have the discipline. It's just a switch in your head. You can do this. If you're worried that you're going to change too much and you're going to leave people behind, you probably won't, first of all. But if you do, then I can tell you that they were probably holding you back. And I know that emotion and attachment is probably holding you back and making you doubt this whole process, but I promise you, you take a first few steps and you see how you feel. And if you feel better, then you can keep taking steps. If you feel like you're getting distance from your friends, then you see how you react, how they react, how your relationship changes. And then you decide if this is something that you want to pursue. And if it is, you put more effort into the relationship and you keep it. But that is not likely to happen anyway. At the end of the day, this is about so much more than discipline. This is about an innate desire to succeed, to make the most out of what you can. It doesn't mean you have to be an asshole. It doesn't mean you have to be selfish. It doesn't mean you have to be like a workout or a gym bro. It just means you have to manage your time correctly and care about the right things and introspectively decide what is truly important for you and how you're going to reach your goals today. Chapter 3. This is all sounding a little bit too preachy, so I'm going to make it simple. I'm going to give you the bottom line, which is that you have many choices throughout your day, and what you do is your decision. Always. Because you control only your actions and your thoughts, but always your actions and your thoughts. You know what the consequences of your actions will be. You know that there is an easy and instantly gratifying answer. And you know that there is a long, hard, grueling road in front of you if you choose to look at it. The bottom line is that there is no shortcut, and that you're not gonna find one on Instagram Reels. Cut the crap and get on with it. You're either disciplined or you're not. You're either doing it or you're not. If you want to succeed in hurting the companies, and overall, if you want to succeed in improving your own life, in focusing on what matters to you, in building what's next for you and your family, this is the only way to go. I know it's hard, but that is what it takes. And the good news is, it's in your control. Studies have shown that the most receptive tactic when convincing people to do things for their health is to explain that they're literally being used. And this was most prevalent in teen boys, which is kind of hilarious. But these businesses literally study human fallacies so they can abuse them and keep your attention. It's literally not worth it to give in. You don't owe any company, influencer, or channel anything. They probably won't even be impacted by your leaving, and they probably don't even know you're there. That's the empowering part. That's where you come in. No matter how much time on this earth you have left, how much energy you have left, it is generally better to do than not to do. If you want to sit around and depress yourself with brain rot and TikTok and the 14 million crises in the world in literally every single industry, you already know how. You know how to consume. You've been taught that for your whole life. This is something else, something new, something that not that many people have tried before, but that is so widely desired. Instead of being one of the majority of people who prefer electric shocks, choose to sit with your thoughts. And yes, that is a real thing. A majority of teenagers in today's time period chose to experience electric shocks instead of sitting alone for a period of time, if you needed an indicator on how bad this brain rot thing has gone. So, I've made my point. This is your 2025 discipline reminder. New year, new you, right? But instead of focusing on less reels or TikTok or brain rot, consume less crises instead. That's what's next. Hey, thanks for tuning in for episode 1. I hope you come back next time for an episode about life feeling numb for some people, for episode 2 of What's the Plan?